What's going on, guys? Behold my new ultimate coffee mug. Is that not a thing of beauty? Oh my gosh. Stainless steel insulated man-sized Viking mug. Keeps the coffee so nice and warm. Christmas present from my oldest son. He knows me well. Since everybody hates it, not everybody, since some people really get annoyed whenever I have a little snack with my coffee, you know we got to do it, especially when we got leftover Christmas snacks. Those go really good. Fred, hold those for me. If you eat those, I'm going to get mad. Don't even think about it. He likes to steal my snacks all the time. Alright. Did I mention how awesome this mug is? This is nice. Maybe it's me, but the mug even makes the coffee taste better. But you're not here for that. What you're here for is something I've wanted to talk to you about for a long time now. But I couldn't talk to you about it because I was sworn to secrecy for a number of reasons. But I won't be around the bush too long. I'll go ahead and get straight to the point. If you guys haven't noticed yet, my favorite pack company, Crossfire, is fixing to be releasing their new LBE rig, aka the DZ rig, aka the DZ rig. So a little background about that. The reason it's called that is because it's designed and created by my good friend Diz. Now, Diz and I go way back. He actually helped me out back when we were getting the business started, and I was getting into sewing and all that good stuff. So I have had the immense privilege of knowing about this rig for a long time now, all the way back to earlier this year, and it's been driving me nuts to not be able to talk about it to you. I've had the privilege of talking with him as he's been developing it and going through iterations, and even given a little bit of my own input, albeit a very, very minuscule amount of input. It's all his baby. I just was fortunate enough for him to bounce a few questions off of me once or twice. So, in that frame of reference, what am I talking about? Well, I'm going to show you two things. First, whoa, I got to reach down and grab it. This is my working prototype rig that he made up for me. Okay, and this is just a modern version of an LBE rig combining input from, like the Brit PLCE kit, American-made kit, etc., etc. So, again, this is my working prototype. This is the actual Crossfire production rig. So, I'm going to go over this, show you a few things on it, point a few things out to you. There will be follow-up videos on this rig as I get a little more time to use it. I've been playing with it for a couple weeks now, but it's an awesome rig. Okay, excuse me. It's 100% hands down awesome rig. Probably, in my humble opinion, going to be one of the best on the market. They are supposed to be available starting sometime in January, hopefully, if the stars and moon all align right. And if you are wanting a good patrol rig, and again, frame of reference, I'm coming at this to you from the perspective and reference of the armed prepared citizen, bad times, grid down, zombies and Terminators are walking the streets, okay? This is something you're going to want to consider. Now, you might be saying, well, why would you be talking about that when you make chest rigs yourself? And speaking of that, this is going to be a dual upload. You're going to see this on my UW Gear channel as well as Alpha Charlie Concepts. So don't get confused if you see it on both channels. I'm uploading it to both because of reasons. So why would I want to be talking about this rig when I make chest rigs and stuff? Because I think you need both in the world. Or maybe your situation doesn't dictate that you need both. Maybe your situation dictates you need one or the other. That's fine. My goal when I started making gear through my business and when I started doing my Alpha Charlie Concepts channel was to help get you, the armed prepared citizen, good, appropriate, functional gear. Whether it was the stuff that I made and sold or other items that I tried out and used myself and could just show you, hey, here's what I'm using and here's what I like and here's why. To better help you try to figure out what would work for you maybe, what wouldn't work for you maybe, because what works for me might not work for you and vice versa. So that's why I'm showing you this, even though I make chest rigs and stuff, because you may want one or the other, you may want both. There may or may not be some things coming down the road once I get caught up on my backlog of orders that may work in conjunction with this rig. Who knows what the future may hold. So, we've got all that out of the way. Let's get into the rig itself. As you can obviously see, this is made in God's plaid. Good old MA1 Woodland. Except no substitutes. What you've got is your buckle in the front, shoulder harness, nice mesh area on the back so that you don't get hot spots. Works really well with backpack, which as an armed prepared citizen you should be using all the time, every time. You've got a 6-point harness system. 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, and 6. This creates for a nice, stable, comfortable carrying capacity when it's loaded down with weight. You will notice that it's a very wide hip belt here, and then it gets narrower steps up here, and then you've got a little wing here. We're going to get into all that. The width and depth of the belt, and it is slightly padded, is to give you good weight distribution and comfort and eliminate chafing and all that kind of good stuff. What you're going to get with this is you have 2 triple AR mag pouches on each side. Yes, 2 triple AR mag pouches. Do the math. How many is that? So if you got 4 and 3, yes, you can carry 12 magazines with this. However, if you choose not to carry 12 magazines, there is some shock cord around each mag pouch that you can tighten up. So say you only wanted to carry 2 mags per pouch. You can tighten up that shock cord and it will comfortably hold 2 magazines. You'll notice there's a pull right here, and oh, look at that. Look at that. That should look very familiar to you if you're familiar with any of my gear. Yes, this is pretty much the exact same tuck tab system, only in a larger width than what I normally use. This 1.5 inches, and I normally do 1 inch. You also have Velcro on here, which you can undo that. There is a loop of webbing in the flap that you tuck this under to hold it open if you need extra retention via the Velcro. If not, you cover that up, the Velcro does not engage. Another thing that you could do, this is probably more for military than the Army Prepared Citizen, but you can tuck the tab, pull tab, underneath the shock cord, tighten it down when you've got magazines in there, and it acts as an extra secondary retention for the flaps. Normally, you wouldn't need that, you just keep it out. You do have some webbing on the outsides of the pouches. These are mollied on. You can take these off and there's molly field there. So let's say that you ran an AK and you needed AK mag pouches and you wanted to run dedicated AK mag pouches instead of trying to stuff AK mags into the AR mag pouches. These are mollied on. You can take them off and put on whatever mag pouches you need to have. Moving around to the rear, you have 3 sustainment pouches. These are sewn into the rig. They are there to stay. These don't come off. You've got some webbing on the top of the flaps, and you've got webbing on the inside edges and sides of the pouches. These are just your general purpose storage pouches. Same closure and everything as the mag pouches. It utilizes the same thing that I do on my mag pouches on all of my rigs. Right here on the back, against the back wall, on the bottom seam, there is a slot that is left unstitched and open that acts as a drain hole. That way you don't have grommets and all that kind of stuff piercing the material, creating a weak spot, a spot to rust out, etc., etc. It also funnels everything towards the back of the pouch and lets it drain out easily. Again, same thing that I use. It's a tried and proven system. Coming on around, you've got your 2 more mag pouches. There is a carry handle up top, or drag handle rather. You'll see some Velcro right here, and you'll see some Velcro right here on the drag handle. That does not come on the rigs. I added this myself, okay? I wanted this so I could put some cat eyes on here for night patrolling, and I put this on here just to keep the drag handle down and not moving around and getting in the way when I'm wearing a pack or whatever. Those don't come on it. Let me reiterate that. Now, one other feature that these rigs will have is you'll notice right here above your 2 mag pouches, there is a funny looking triangular sewn piece with a quick release buckle and this piece on it that undoes, right? And it looks like that. What that is a very cool system, so that if you were running a Crossfire ruck, which again I highly recommend, but you don't have to, if you configure the ruck into more of a short back configuration to work with this so that it's riding on top of the rear pouches, what that allows you to do is you take off the wing flaps on the lumbar pads of your Crossfire pack, and this piece goes in place of it on there and allows you to clip into the rig with a quick release buckle rather, and then your rig acts as a hip belt to stabilize your pack. It still lets you get in and out of it real easy. Now, if you don't want to use those, or you don't run a Crossfire ruck, or you're just using like a smaller patrol pack or whatever, those are easily removable because the buckle on the rig itself is a split buckle, so you just take it off and don't have to even bother with it. But that's how that would go in. Again, that little tab piece just goes through the buckle right there And again, it allows you to use your rig as the waist belt for your pack. And again, you're going to run it in a short back configuration so that it sits on top of the pouches in the rear, which ends up working out surprisingly well. What else? That's probably all I wanted to go over here just on the initial thoughts of this. Again, guys, this is a super functional rig. This is not designed for you to go win a 3-gun competition. This is not designed to just look cool on the range. You're not going to impress your Instagram followers with your split times. This is for real world use, where you need to carry a basic load of supplies and equipment and a load of magazines and have them protected and available when you need them for an actual real fight. Again, you'll notice on the mag pouches, I want to jump back to these real quick. When the mags are in them, it's a very boxy flap and a boxy pouch. Very reminiscent of, yes, the old Alice mag pouches. That is for a reason. Again, it's easy to open them up and get the magazines out though, and close her right back up. And then if you need to use that Velcro piece, you can. I think the only other thing to really go over here with you and talk about is, let's go outside and I'll throw it on and show it to you, because I don't have room in here to get the camera enough that you could actually see me wearing it. But one other thing before we do that I wanted to cover, because I know a bunch of you are probably wondering. There are some other LBE type, jungle type rigs on the market. Now, I don't have really any experience with any of the others, other than I know of them and I've looked at them. But from talking to folks that have got them, most of them seem to like them. But I wanted to give you a little comparison. So one of the big names, if you've got to have the designer boutique stuff, is the Velocity Systems Jungle Rig. Now, if you get a Velocity Systems Jungle Rig set up in this configuration, pouch-wise, you're looking at $545, and it goes up from there, I think. If you get something like, for example, the Nixie Works Light Fighter rig, you're looking at least $450 for that one, depending on how you configure it. This rig, and this is subject to change, but right now it's slated to go for $350. So that is significantly less than pretty much everything else on the market, other than if you did some kind of do-it-yourself setup. There's something to be said for that. Okay, there is something to be said for that. Price-wise, this is going to be a hard rig to beat. I don't think you can come to this level of quality and features close to that same price. Okay, so that doesn't necessarily mean the price may be in your price range, but just because it's not in your price range doesn't mean it ain't worth it. And I would encourage you to think real hard about it if it's something that fits your desires and needs. These are also going to come in two different sizes, a medium large and a large extra large. This particular one here is a medium large. Personally, I'll probably end up getting a large extra large, just because I normally wear, just for reference, depending on how much of my wife's cooking that I've ate, 36 to 38 inch waist, and then when I get clothing and stuff over it, you know, I usually buy belts and stuff in the 40 to 42 inch range. That way I can always tighten it down as I need to, but it gives me a little extra room. And with this one, I've got enough room that I could get the large, extra large and still be okay. The only difference between the two, other than the size, is on the back. Your middle sustainment pouch is going to be a little bit larger than what it is on this one. Other than that, everything else is identically the same. I'll touch on the rest of the hip pad and everything when I can put this on and show it to you real quick. What else was I going to hit y'all with? I think that was it. Let's get where I can throw this on and show it to you, and you can see what it actually looks like when you've got it on. And for that, we got to go outside, so let's take a walk. Okay guys, so this is kind of what it looks like with the rig on, and we're going to go a little backwards. I'm starting with the ruck and everything already on, and I'll take it off and show you from there. But this is kind of how you'd want your ruck to ride, right on top of those back pouches. And then you could clip in to these tabs right here into the lumbar belt or pads on the ruck, and that would tie it in to the LBE, so it would act as a waist belt for the pack and still let you get in and out of it real quick. So this is kind of what it would look like riding in that manner. Okay, now let me take this off so I can show you a little better. So you can see how the pouches sit. Give you a little 360 there. You want the pouches and everything from your hip bone points rearward. That way you can do things like taking a knee, bending over, and you don't have the pouches digging into your legs or interfering with going down, anything like that. It's all to the rear and sides. So you can see on this one, I've got a couple of PMags in there. So that gives you an idea of what those look like. Again, I just got 2 in there. It still holds them good, and I don't even have the shock cord tightened down all the way yet. You do have a lumbar strap up here that you can move up and down on the shoulder harness to wherever you need it at. And yeah, it kind of gives you an idea of how it would ride, how it would work. And then you can take your one wrap right there and strap those onto the actual belt itself, and you don't have any straps flapping and flopping and all that kind of good stuff. Good Lord, they just come out of the woodwork. The freaking vampires, even though it's cool out here. I digress. So anyway, hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of how it looks. Again, and I know some of you are wondering, no, this isn't a full Crossfire pack. This is an Alice pack, but it's on a Crossfire DG3 frame with DG3 shoulder harness and lumbar strap assembly that I like to use because it makes a great patrol pack. But that would fit over like that, and then I would, if I had these pieces hooked up, my little wings right there, I would clip those in on the side and I'd be good to go. So it gives you kind of an idea. Let me get a little closer and you can see, hopefully, how she rides, how it sits. Plenty of adjustment in these. Again, I'm probably going to get a large, extra large, just because I can afford a couple more inches coming around on the sides. But this is nice because it leaves all the front open, puts everything from here to the back. This rig would give you, again, a good sustainment load for everything you could possibly need. Your mags and ammo, exactly what you need for a fighting rig, okay? In my opinion, and again, this is just my 2 cents on the subject, don't try to make this a survival rig. Make a survival rig a survival rig, or a fighting rig a fighting rig. Now, I understand there are some of you in situations and circumstances where you've got to combine the two. You do what you got to do, okay? There's nothing ever wrong with doing what you got to do. I'm just saying, make this rig for the fight. And I've got all my sustainment stuff in there, other than things that I need to sustain the fight in these pouches, or if I couldn't get to my ruck, if I had to drop it, say, in a patrol base, an ORP, and for whatever reason something happened, I couldn't get back to it, at least I've got some stuff in the GP pouches on there that will sustain me hopefully long enough to get back to a friendly spot, get back to my ruck, whatever. Now, one last thing to add. You can take and add a small chest rig on, depending on if you get one that's low profile enough, underneath this, so that you got a couple of ready mags right here on your chest, should that be something that you want to do. There's a lot of different ways you could work that out. I'll let you use your imagination there. Again, that may be something down the road that gets visited. Don't know. Crazier things have happened. The DZ Rig from Crossfire, for hot weather use, for heavy thick woodlands, that's super comfortable and leaves your upper half free to breathe. Man, there's something to be said about this. And again, you've got the same kind of tuck tab closure that I use on my chest rigs, so it's silent, it doesn't wear out, it's not affected by mud and muck and water and the environment. You can open and close these with gloves on, all the things you want to do, and there's nothing there to wear or break out, and it's all quiet. If I actually had weight in the pack so that it wasn't bouncing as much, man, this whole setup is super quiet, guys. Everything you want it to be in a rig. Do I sound like I'm fanboying over it? Yes, I am, and I'll tell you why. Because I have wanted to make something like this for years now, and my buddy Diz just beat me to the point, and I'm all the happier for it, because quite honestly, it saves me from having to work out all the kinks and details and do it. He's already done it for me. I can just tell you, hey, here's a great rig that's exactly what I have always wanted to make, and it's already being made. Check it out. It's good stuff. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop using my gear, obviously, but this definitely has a home in my setup now, 100%, and you're going to start seeing a lot more of it in the near future. So we might start working through some winter setups with the chest rig and summer setups with the DZ rig, and maybe some combining there in between, who knows. So anyway, you get the point. I'm a big fan of this rig. I have been dying to talk to you guys about it forever and couldn't. So now that I finally can, I'm super stoked and excited. For the armed prepared citizen, I'm telling you, this is an outstanding option. When you combine this kind of rig with shameless promotion, shameless plug, my own chest rigs, and the Crossfire packs, they've got a whole suite of packs that fits every need you could have, and their new lineup for 2024 looks to be even more awesome than it's been in the past. I'm telling you, the armed prepared citizen, you can get good quality gear and get set up at a comparatively decent price point compared to a lot of the rest of the market and what's being charged. And for that price, you get gear that's going to work very well for you in that role as that armed prepared citizen. So I'll put links, of course, in the description box. The shameless plug that I shouldn't have to say, but I apparently always have to do. No, Crossfire did not pay me to make this video. I don't get a dime for making this video. I'm making the video because I like their stuff. I like their company. And I think it's great stuff that you guys need to know about because it works. I don't get a dime for doing it, okay? That said, take care, stay safe, guys. Get prepared, and then get out there and train and practice with your gear. Stay safe. I will see you in another one.